Episode 418, The Mysterious Poisoning. "Mom, you forgot to take your medicine again," Felicity said, opening several boxes of pills. Alex wondered how they could afford so much medication. "I'm sorry, honey," her mother said, sighing. "It's not fair that you have to look after me. At your age, you should be out having fun." "Don't be silly, Mom," Felicity said, pouring a glass of water. "We'll have plenty of fun once you're better." She helped her mother to sit up and take the medication. "Oh, by the way, Dad sent me $300, she said, placing the money on the table. "So I can go and get you some more medicine tomorrow." "It's nice of your father to send the money," her mother said. "But I wish he would come and see me. He hasn't visited once." "You know how busy he is," Felicity said, giving her a gentle smile. "He can't get away, so he told me to take care of you." Alex watched as Felicity's mother reached out to touch the money on the table. She groped around, struggling to find it, and Alex realized the woman was blind. Felicity helped her mother to lie down, and then she picked up an empty jug and walked to the door, intending to go to the kitchen for more water. "Is that why you steal from the other students?" Alex asked when Felicity stepped out of the room. Felicity jumped, clearly startled. "You followed me?" she asked, glaring at him. "Yes, I followed you," he admitted. "I want to help you." Despite Felicity's attitude, he felt sorry for her. "Help? What can you do to help?" she said, scowling. "Will you pay for my mother's medicine? Do you even have that much money?" She glanced back at the door, making sure her mother hadn't overheard. "The problem isn't money," Alex said. "Just answer one question for me. After your mother took those drugs, did she get worse?" Felicity was stunned. "How did you know that?" she asked. "And what does that mean? What are you trying to say?" "From looking at her, I believe she's showing signs of chronic poisoning," Alex said. "The medicine won't help her. It'll just make things worse by increasing the strain on her internal organs." He paused for a moment and then continued. "So there's no need to steal money to buy medicine that won't make her better." Felicity's eyes flashed. "Why should I believe you?" she asked. Alex sighed. "Because I know a lot about poisons," he said. "I have experience in dealing with such things." He shook his head. "But if you choose not to believe me, then your mother will die because of your ignorance. If you don't want my help, I'll leave." He couldn't force her to let him help. Felicity looked into his eyes, starting to believe that he knew what he was talking about. There was just something different about him, and she didn't understand how he had found her so quickly. Clearly, he wasn't an ordinary man, so maybe he could help her. "Who are you?" she asked, her voice trembling. What if she believed in him and it turned out to be the wrong choice? "I'll show you who I am," Alex said. He took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and summoned his inner power, letting the temperature in the room drop significantly. Felicity rubbed at her arms, shivering as she stared at him. What was going on, she thought. Alex opened his eyes and looked at her. Then he released more of his power, chilling the room even further. His breath was visible in the frigid air, and the hairs on his arms stood up. "What are you doing?" Felicity asked. "Is that you? Are you doing that?" "Yes," he said, lifting his hand and touching the empty jug she was carrying. Felicity's eyes widened, as she saw the little droplets of water at the bottom of the jug freeze over. She had been right. Alex was not a normal person. "I can achieve much with my inner power," he said, "and I've healed people who are much sicker than your mother." Felicity nodded, and then they went inside and walked over to the bed. When he looked closer, Alex was even more convinced the woman had been poisoned. Felicity's mother couldn't see who was there. Confused, she tried to sit up and talk, but Alex gently placed his hand on her forehead, and she fell asleep. Alex motioned to Felicity to step back, and then he placed his hand on her mother's head, channeling his power into her to force out the poison. Half an hour later, Alex straightened up, having finished healing Felicity's mother. The woman made an odd gurgling sound, and her face contorted. "Get a bowl," Alex said. Felicity grabbed a small bowl and rushed over to her mother, helping her up and holding the bowl under her chin. Her mother coughed up a mouthful of a bright blue liquid. Alex looked at it and frowned. "It looks like snake venom, but then why would it act so slowly? That's so strange." Felicity was stunned for a moment, but then her expression grew sad. "It's okay," Alex reassured her. "As long as you look after your mother, she'll gradually recover." "You're sure?" she asked. Alex winked at her. "Trust your teacher," he said. Then he looked around. Why is the daughter of such a rich man living in a neighborhood like this? And why did you need to steal the money for your mom's medication? Felicity blushed. "My dad divorced my mom," she said. "I asked him for money for my mom's medical treatment, but he never gives me enough, so I had to take money from the other students. If I hadn't, my mom would have died." A tear slipped down her face. Alex listened quietly. Something odd was going on here. The poisoning didn't make sense, and Felicity's father's attitude seemed a little off, but there wasn't anything he could do about it. "I understand," he said to Felicity, "but you can't steal from the other students anymore. You need to do things the right way." "Okay," Felicity said.